Aloha artists, Miss Maggie here. Today we are going to do a fun and relaxing painting project where you're going to make something kind of like this. And so these are the supplies we're going to need. So for today's project we are going to be painting, but the exercise we're doing works just as well on drawing paper, okay? And so one, maybe two sheets of small drawing paper. And if you don't see your small, a large sheet, just one, will be fine. And so let's try out the drawing paper. And we have our watercolors and brush, napkin, and water in a container that is safe around your technology. And you don't even need a pencil except maybe to write your name on the back of your paper. That's all we might use a pencil for, because today is really just about painting. Okay, so drawing paper, small size, watercolor, brush, water, and napkin. Go get those supplies and let's get painting. So today we are going to make a rainbow ribbon. And when I do this, every time I do it, it turns out a little bit differently. The colors flow in some other interesting way. And so that's why I said 2 pieces of drawing paper. And if we did that with our watercolor, we'd be out for using it for any other projects. So that's why have a second one on hand in case you want to do this experiment twice. And when we paint today, we are going to use just 3 colors. Our primary colors: red, yellow, and you know what it is, blue. But of course, we're creating a whole world of colors with those 3 primaries. Red, yellow, and blue can create the whole color wheel and the whole rainbow. So let's practice creating colors just with them and not the other beautiful colors in your palette. Okay, so how do I start off? I'm going to take some water on my brush. I'm going to go to my red first. And I'm going to mix some red. And the trick with this project is that you want a lot of paint and water, but you also don't want too much. And it's hard to know. But I forgot something. Anytime we paint, we need to stop and think. I need to stop and think about where I'm going to paint. In this case, what's my rainbow ribbon going to look like? Because, oh, come on, let's be more creative than just, let's go in some other way. I could go like this. I could go up, down, and around. I could go wiggle like that. I kind of like that idea. So that was, and I could also go down like this. Maybe it's a slide or a roller coaster. That's some neat ideas, huh? I kind of like that this time. Okay, I thought about where I'm going to paint. And I know what color. That's the other thing we need to stop and think about. What color? It's going to be red and then yellow and blue, our primaries. And finally, what stroke? And so I'm going to hold my brush like a pencil. I'm going to hold it on the silver part. And if I'm doing a fine stroke, I'm going to touch with just the tip. If I'm doing something wider, I can hold my brush at more of an angle to get a thicker stroke. We'll want it a little bit thick today. Okay, see, there we go. We are ready to paint because we stopped and thought about where, what color, and what stroke. That helps you whenever you paint anything to be prepared when you paint. Okay, I've got my brush. It's just about drippy, so I'm going to let that drip off. That means I've got the right amount of paint because I want to try to go from one end to the other with this red stroke. So I'm going to go up, down, and there. That one I did, I kind of wish it was a little bit darker red. I'll remember that next time. But let's keep going for now. I'm going to do the same thing with yellow. Okay, I've got yellow on there. I mixed the yellow extra this time. And so I've got some yellow paint on there, and I want it almost drippy, but not quite. None of that green sneaking in. And I'm going to go right alongside that color. Not into it, not away from it, but just touching. Just touching the very edge. And look what happens when it touches. Huh. Pretty neat. But it didn't flow. That means my red didn't have much water to it. Well, I'm going to keep going this time. I can try again next time. Let's do the blue. Ooh, I already mixed a lot of blue from earlier, so it is wet and it is thick. Let's see what happens. Ooh, wow, look at that green that's happening, because those two are wet enough and bold enough and combining. Oh, yes. That's amazing. And look at that green that I am getting. Oh my goodness, that's what I wanted. Now, it's a difficult choice to make here. I could leave the red side, it's good enough. I'll just try again on my other paper. Or I can go, well, what if I can go over it exactly and make it darker? Sometimes I like doing it, sometimes I don't. I'm gonna try it, and let's decide if it was a good idea or not. Sometimes in art you don't know. Okay, I'm gonna take that red, make sure it's bolder this time, and go right over it, and this time it's gonna touch the yellow. And will we get an orange mixing so it really is a rainbow? That yellow is still wet, and so not everywhere, but a lot of places it really is mixing to create an orange. Yes, that is what I was hoping for. Wow, look at that wildness where it was extra wet. I kind of like it. I'm gonna let that part stay like that. And I love that part there. Oh yes. Wash my brush, dry my brush. I'm gonna try a little bit more yellow here. Again, maybe this is a good idea, maybe it's not. It's an experiment. I like it. It made it so I had more orange, but I was very careful with my brush. And those areas were starting to blend a lot. If I mess with them, it's just gonna blend more. So let's let our rainbow ribbon have those wiggly and interesting areas. Okay? If you look at yours and you're like, I'm not sure, then try it again. Watch how we did it and do it a second time. Remember to stop and think. Where are you gonna paint? What's that ribbon gonna look like? What color? And in this case, how much water and pigment, how much pigment is paint? Are you gonna put on the brush? And also, what stroke? Let's see how I do it a second time.
Give it one more go on your second paper. See how I am thinking about where, and I thought about what color and what stroke as well. You can always pause the video or go back and watch how I did it from the first part. Have your own experiments within this and see what happens when the colors flow together to mix new ones. Wow! It is just so amazing to see how that comes together. I'm keeping my primary colors clean on my brush so that they flow there beautifully. Wow, isn't that fun?
Now, one thing I forgot in my first one was purple. A lot of times rainbows have a purple at the end. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Well, I don't want to have a whole nother layer of red, but I can take a little bit. I could take some red and some water. So we're going to make that red lighter, less intense. And I'm going to touch the edge of the blue with it so we get a little bit of purple there. Ooh, look at that light edge of the rainbow. I'll do some up here. Mine's funny because I wiggled back on myself. So up there, the purple's on top. but that's because it connects back up down here. Oh, go carefully and smoothly. There we go. Now I've got purple on this one. Great. So I have my, oh, it looks like a road. I have that one and this one too to play with now. I'm going to play with some ideas of still painting directly with my paintbrush and using my brush strokes to make things that are beautiful and interesting. First thing I'm going to do is some flowers. And flowers might be something you like, or maybe you have a different idea. But watch how I do this and then try out the technique yourself. I'm going to take some water on my brush, but I do need to stop and think. Where am I going to put this flower? I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to start with yellow, and then I'm going to add red. And then what stroke? Ooh, this is the interesting part here. I am going to start with a circle, and then I'm going to do brush strokes that turn directly into the petals. So let's see that circle. You can fill in the circle if you want, but I'm going to leave it empty. I'm going to put some dots inside of it. And then watch what I'm going to do out from this circle. I'm going to do stroke just by putting down my brush. See how my brush is touching the tip and then comes up. Touches the tip and then comes up. Touches the tip. Oh, see, that one didn't quite work. Touches the tip and comes up. Now, I'm going to add another color. Let's add some red. And I'm going to do a red petal. And so this one, I'm going to touch the tip, go down and pull up. Go down and pull up. This one, I like a little bit better. I'm touching and then I pull the brush up. And look at what those colors are doing where they touch the yellow. Oh my goodness, I love that. Oh my. Try this with flowers because after you try this, you might have ideas for your own designs to do. And if you did 2 rainbows, then you've got 2 papers. Oh, fun! That was just red and yellow. And look at that wild design I made. Let's do another one. I'm going to do one down here. And so remember, I'm stopping and thinking, where? Down here. What color? I'm going to make mine red and then blue. Ooh, so it's going to turn purple. And what stroke? I'm going to do the same sorts of strokes. They might end up a little bit pointier this time, but I'm still checking how I hold my brush. This will go well. Okay. Circle. And then this time down. I'm going to pull it back a little faster. Look, I've got a point. Down, point it up. Down, pick it up. Oh, that one's not as pointy. Down, pick it up. And so it's got a point on it. Down, pick it up. See, that's the point I want. It's the whole point of this. Now, get the blue. I'm going to go in between. Down, pick it up. 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 See what that motion is? I press the whole thing down, and then when I pick it up, the little tip trails there. And I need some blue there, and I'm going to put a little bit into the red because it wasn't quite going over. And I think my blues are a little dark. So maybe I do a light blue petal next. So I'm going to take blue and water and do another petal coming out, and it might touch the others, but Oh, that's super cool. I like that. All those petals started in the middle and then came out. Which way do I want this artwork to go? I do kind of like it that way. That's the original way that I painted it. I'm going to think about what to do next. I think I'm going to do some stems on these flowers. And on this piece, I had fun making the stems twine with the rainbow. You might have a totally different idea, but I think I want to play with that some more. And so that's what I'm going to do. You decide how you want to use careful brush strokes with your paintbrush to finish off your piece, or maybe even trying out ideas on both of them. So, I'm going to stop and think, where am I going to do these stems? I think I want it to circle around and come. Do I want it to circle around that and go that way, or just come from there? I think I'm just going to have it come from that way. I'm playing with direction. Like, it's not just growing perfectly out of the ground. I'm coming up with different ideas. And so, just like before, I'm still going to use only my primary colors. In this case, yellow and blue to make green. And this stem, I want it to be narrow. And so, I'm going to hold my brush tall and touch with just the tip. So that way I am thinking about what stroke. Just like that. Actually, I'm going to start over here. Make it go like that. See how I'm practicing? Thin, thin, thin. And my rainbow was pretty dry there, so I didn't need, my rainbow was pretty dry there, so it didn't bleed. Now I'm going to drop in the blue, going right over it. Drop in the blue, drop in the blue. So much fun. Let's do that with the other one. I'm going to stop and think. I think this one's going to loop and then go down. Ooh, that's fun. So it's going to go over and then under. Think like that. Okay, I'm going to go up and under. Okay, I've got my plan. And I know what my brush stroke is, and I'm doing the same colors as the last one. That helps me always know what I'm painting. I have a plan. There we go. But if I wanted to go under the rainbow, see how I stopped? And then I'm going to pretend to paint and then keep going. And should this go under the rainbow or over? What do you think? I think I'm going to have it go over the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow, Miss Maggie doesn't teach singing for a reason. Now, drop in the blue, right? Drop in the blue. There we go. So much fun. Okay, what about some leaves? Let's give these flowers a couple little leaves. I like it. Okay, yellow and then blue, right? And so how am I going to do these strokes? Where am I going to do the brushes? I guess I better stop and think. Stop and think about where I'm going to do the leaves. I'm going to do them kind of where there's space, not so much over the rainbow. Maybe that's a lot of paint, so I'll bring some up there, one there. Yeah, I see some spaces for them. And I know what color. I'm going to do the same yellow plus green like I did there. And what stroke? I'm going to do it sort of like the petals, but I'm going to make them a little bit longer. I like the pointy petals, but longer. Watch this. Pointy, down, pulling, and going up slowly. Ooh. Down, pulling, curving, and up slowly. See how I trail slowly? And I get that beautiful point. Thin, thick. There we go. There we go. And that one's gonna curve just like the rainbow. And I know I don't have the blue in them yet, but they're plenty wet, so I'll be able to drop it in a second. This one's gonna have one right here. Okay, let's get that blue in there before I run out of wet paint in those leaves. Ooh, ooh, you can put the color in however you want to, but I love how that is flowing. Oh my goodness, so neat. What other ways could you use these style of brush strokes? Could you mix a very light blue and then have it be little drop, drops, drop, 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 like raindrops? You could. And look, I love how some raindrops are bigger, some are smaller. You can try other ways of making patterns and designs on these, or have a whole nother idea of what you do with these skills. I can't wait to see what you make. I love looking at the Padlet. It's such a wonderful way for me to see what you're up to and share it with your teachers and put this artwork up somewhere where it can brighten someone's day. Your reflection question today is, what discoveries did you make while painting today? I'd love to hear about them. Describe what you did or tried that you thought was really neat. Okay, these cheery works of art that are also just experiments are a wonderful way to practice playing with our primary colors and also gaining skill with your paintbrush for whatever painting projects you have in the future. So, have fun with this. Okay, I can't wait to make more art with you next time. Ahui ho!